And I want to go now to Joe in Rochester, New York. Hi, Joe. You're on the air.
Hi. I've heard before that nativism is one of the central definers of conservatism in Europe. And it seems like that's true in the United States now. Do you think that's changed? Do you think there's more nativism, or do you think it's always been here and it's just coming to the surface now?
Thanks for your question. Throw it to the panel. Who wants to take
I think there's a couple things going on. I think there's a sense that we were talking before that, the economy is rigged, politics is rigged, that the average person can no longer get ahead. That's borne out by some economic data, like the economic recovery. While the country has recovered from the recession, wages haven't improved. Certainly the federal minimum wage hasn't gone up. So people feel tighter. And then I think there's this whole set of social changes, the transgender bathroom issue that we were talking about before, that people feel that the country's moving in ways, there's a certain segment of the population that feels that the country's moving in ways in which they are not prepared to go. So there's a number of things going on, but I think economics and the feeling that things have just gotten harder is the main driver. And when you feel that way, you look for various people to blame.
Yeah, I think, though, that it is unfair to equate conservatism with nativism. When George Bush was president, he very pointedly spoke out about the Muslim faith as a faith of tolerance. Mm-hmm. He said, our war is against terrorists. It is not against Muslims. When John McCain ran against Barack Obama and someone accused Obama of being an Arab and a terrorist, John McCain stood up and he said, no, ma'am, I'm sorry, that's not right. He's a good man, a family man. I simply disagree with him on policy. And we've already talked in the show about how Donald Trump is really, frankly, not a conservative. So I think while there may be a strain in America of nativism, I don't think it's fair to equate the two, or to say that the nativists are taking over the conservative movement somehow.
I think it's part of the tug of war. The conservative movement and the Republican Party, often two different things. Conservatives are often at odds with the party itself, but I do think there's a tug of war. And to Sheryl's point, historically, you can see Bush, you can see McCain. You can go back to 1996 when Pat Buchanan's central theme was America First. That was his whole pitch, and he was a somewhat effective candidate, helped knock Phil Gramm from the race, but then lost to Bob Dole. He had a limit to his appeal. But Trump has obviously stretched that limit in this cycle. This is why Paul Ryan and these other Republicans have this dilemma over how close do we hug him, because they hope this doesn't last. But he's their nominee at the moment, and so it's sort of like grabbing a rodeo bull and trying to hold on to November.
Okay, we've covered the range of issues surrounding presidential politics. We've talked about